Good evening.
Leading on this panel moderating, but this panel will be in Arabic. So I hope you, if you want to listen in, there is live translation, so you can enjoy it in English if you want to listen to it in English. Meanwhile, it's called MediaAI, Crafting Authentic and Personalized Experiences. صياغة تجارب أصيلة.
Crafting authentic and personalized experiences through AI. However, I'd like to ask you, before we start, Eli, Faris, and Johter Jana, 10 years ago, what would have been different for this kind of panelists today? I'm a journalist for the last 10, 20 years through artificial intelligence. Do you think I will lose my job within 5 to 10 years to come? Then I will get older, but will I lose my job? Eli. First of all, hello everyone. Thanks for hosting me here. First of all, the idea is very strange that we talk about artificial intelligence. The room is divided two, people who are scared and people who are optimistic. This is the nature of a human being. We, through all time, in the old days, when we had a trend, when we had a train, people who was operating on horses, they were scared, but then they got a job within the trains. So I cannot imagine that we will lose our jobs, or you will lose. I cannot predict very well, but I cannot think that you will lose our jobs. We will not lose our position. I think artificial intelligence will give us time if you are going to host anyone, you will learn more about him and what to ask him or her. So artificial intelligence will help you, but it will not will take your job. If you want to talk to somebody, if you want to empathize with somebody else, the human ideas won't be eliminated, will not be deleted. The one who uses artificial intelligence will be quicker. So I think after a couple of years, it will be natural. We are used now to do things. We can open phones and wake up with stories without things that we wouldn't have done before. So if I want to talk to my brother, I would have sent him a matter or a letter. So people now think that artificial intelligence will be incorporated in our glasses, and they would ask artificial intelligence in a different language. The artificial intelligence will understand, although the different language. So wait, don't worry about losing your job. Faris, good evening, and thanks for hosting me. I would like to congratulate Eli for the advertisement. Remind me. A round of applause for Eli. We've followed the message. We are proud of Angham. I always ask myself, my answer is, with regard to artificial intelligence and losing a job, before we lose our jobs, for artificial intelligence, we will lose our job for people who know how to manage and to run artificial intelligence. There is a big gap. People think that artificial intelligence will will take off all jobs. Artificial intelligence might take some jobs, but most of jobs will witness some kind of advancement and expansion. Like today, any job requires someone who knows a PC, who knows internet. So this will be given. Some tasks, some transactions that will replaced by artificial intelligence. That doesn't mean that all domains, all fields will be replaced by artificial intelligence. What will happen, that will witness some development in some competencies and people who will start on this journey and who will be the pioneers, and artificial intelligence will enormously benefit. Today, when we talk about companies that use artificial intelligence, there will be confusion between companies that produce artificial intelligence, because they can be counted on one hand. Those big companies that require huge investment, what's happening that they develop the platforms, and interacting with that platform it will be essential for anyone to deal with I'm not talking about 10 years, maybe in 5 years, it will be very essential and fundamental. Dr. Jana, what do you think? After what they have highlighted, I cannot add anything. After Eli and Maris, I can't add more. Good evening. Thanks for hosting me. I know you, Maya, I know you are smarter than being replaced by AI. As we heard earlier, AI is upskill, so it adds to your skills. If you know how to use AI as a presenter, as a TV, as a media person, if you know how to use artificial intelligence, this will be great. However, to be replaced by AI, this goes back to you. This is our human experience. We could see we are the Knowledge Summit. What is summit? What is the Knowledge Summit? It's when someone knows. When somebody knows when to take decisions. Therefore, when my decisions, my choices are clear, that artificial intelligence is a domain, but that AI will not replace me because I am human, and the artificial intelligence cannot replace me. So whenever you feel that you want to weigh in, please feel free to participate. So how can artificial intelligence convert or change the content creation in media, whether articles, stories, in your point of view, through the different platforms that you are representing today? And I will start with you, Eli. How can AI, for this algorithm, allow create content creation and benefit from content creation? I imagine the first point in to identify or define AI, we think that we talk about something an alien from space. AI, I cannot simplify it. AI is just a matter of mathematics. It's not. We've lived with AI for too long. It's the first time we were. When we used to open Facebook and Facebook says, "Do you know this person?" And I was amazed how Facebook recognized that I know this person. That was what Facebook does is it links different domains. So the Facebook recognizes that those people know each other, then it recommends these people for you. So there's, we would say, this high probability that you know this person. But Facebook lately, for years, for the last 10 years, presented the face recognition and then canceled that. That's correct. That is correct. But what I want to say that we used to be afraid of is something simple like recommending people that we know on Facebook. So what happened with the time, those platforms couldn't provide AI, the foundational model. But everyone can benefit from this. The foundational models, there are a few companies and it costs a lot. Me and my platform, Angham, I use artificial intelligence provided, which is cloud services. Cloud services, they are algorithms like Amazon. They'll give us something, Meta, and Big, a mother company, with the father of Facebook. Though they have their own services, they provide AI services in a different way. And make everything accessible. Those companies, they have data. What is happening so how can we know the links between so many different people? Do you think those big companies, they gather all the content, they take all that data, and all of a sudden they can create content? If sometimes AI can write. So it takes time for training, and AI could answer any question. AI is not as smart as we think, not as smart as a child who is learning. AI, you can teach a kid to learn to read and read in a very short span of time. So The AI doesn't start from scratch. AI is not like teaching a human being. So if AI AI has learned everything. A transformer model is done 6 months, 6 months back. This is an algorithm. Is written algorithm written. Google decided to write the algorithm and make it accessible to everyone. Now everything we say about AI and we link it with Chat GTP. AI has been there for too long, but we learned something clear. So Faris, since Eli talked a lot about Facebook and the journey of Facebook in comparison to Facebook and Instagram and WhatsApp and many of other platforms, and investing in the meta and artificial intelligence today, what's your perception about the differences with regard to AI between different platforms? We are allocating 20% of our budget for the company on artificial intelligence. We utilize AI on so many functions like production engine. And when somebody, especially when Instagram. So if I talk about a trip to Paris, I would see an ad about that trip. So I hope it just provides you with the probability 50% input for each individual and each post. The AI chooses the most suitable choice. It's just quantum. If you feed the system with so many with so many data, it will learn faster. And we have so much data. Therefore, we can feed the programs to become faster. The previous usage of AI was mainly was not accessible to public, for example. Now we use AI for moderation, to coding the content. If anything is inappropriate for the society, we take it off. So this 95% is done. The coding or censoring the content is done through algorithm. Anything for the children, anything to do with ethics and morality, anything for terrorism is being censored by AI. Some elements that requires human intervention, AI cannot decide. AI could decide white and black, but how can you determine what's? For instance, we have set of standards for the physical features. We have some exemption for medical, technical, something to do with civilizations, folklore. If the algorithm is not sure about the right decision, we just flag it, and a human being should intervene. Sometimes you need to look at something to do with the time, the year, the context of the image. Sometimes to do with the certain critical issues, economically, politically. Sometimes we make mistakes. Beside the pros, we have so many challenges with regard to AI. Anything to do with the intellectual properties. Now, the intellectual properties, the rules pertaining to intellectual properties are certified. If a singer, a producer have rights, for lately in Egypt made a song for Kulthum without Kulthum being there and published the song, and that caused a fuss, caused a scene, because that he manufactured a song for Kulthum. So how can we interact with that? Should we take it off? Who has the right? Who has the right for the catalog of Kulthum? Or the producer of this, who has no right, who didn't interact with the mother, with the family of that singer? This is a new case. The law always, for 3 years late behind technology. When we have this incident, we have to take decision as a platform how to deal with this. Mostly, the law may agree or disagree with us, but we have to take decision. We have to take it down from Al-Ghami, and there are benefits or revenue behind that song. Besides, in addition to the research and R&D, we pay a lot of money to invest and to look at the critical issues that AI could create. Sometimes we don't think that we are the only one who should make decisions. Sometimes we deal with academics, with press people, with lawyers, to create, to come up with how to deal with those conditions. When we talk about different platforms, NGAM and OSM Plus, now when we talk about Meta, we talk also about TikTok. Do you think the algorithms that in TikTok, the technologies and TikTok, especially you are preparing for educational content for TikTok, is it different than other platforms? I cannot talk about TikTok, or I can talk about me as a content creation. If I reply to you about a content that you like, if I generate everything from AI, you would feel this is artificial. Today, the trend as a content creator, and I used to deliver lectures in psychology. I cannot eliminate human touch, and I say that I can use AI as it is. I will choose. I have choices. A platform like TikTok, an academic, there is a very important research, which is done by Dr. Ali Felwek, who is another person from Holt in UAE, in Holt University. Faris talked about a very important point, that we have to have rules. Their company, they set up rules in line what they like, as long as in line what they know. The paper, a study that lasted for years, he's called Dr. Ali or TikTok, and he presents different things on psychology. I'm not promoting them. What I'm trying to say, in a nutshell, today I'm quite happy to hear that they rely on the views or people who are academic. We need to have a think tank to come up to think together what is the algorithm, and when we can say enough, we have to reset the algorithm. The paper, in a nutshell, how can we put a framework forward on 3 levels? As a content creator, how can I use AI responsibly? Not all content creator are like that. This is the reason we have 3 levels. The first one, in the macro level. Second, the meso level, think tanks, and the policymakers. So the law comes late. We need legislators to be quicker to intervene. So when we talk about what is the definition of AI, we will have so many different definitions. So we need governance, we need legal legislations, as Faris pointed out. So the technology always on the forefront. Now, when we talk about crafting authentic experiences, I have a question, a concern about this. Any one of you may share their point of view. When you have artificial intelligence, AI, when AI pushes content to the viewers, we have this tunnel vision to recognize this is the AI recognizes that this is the content that is suitable to that particular consumer. So what I'm saying is AI chooses the content that is suitable to me. I'm not choosing in this case. AI determines the content that I receive. The answer, I'll give you an example. If you go to website of Carrefour, you would search, you will look for meat. It will come up with the meat. Then it will give you potatoes or vegetables or mustard or anything. Then you will feel that he's helping me. Tunnel vision, in a way, it understands. AI understands what you are looking for. It recommends something along that line. Sometimes you are looking for a recipe or a cake, and you look at the cake for the next several days. AI will show cakes. That's what you are looking for, and you will be happy with that. So at times, the algorithm provides what we are looking for and help us. And ChatGPT, when we ask a question, we don't need to do Google search. We find everything on ChatGPT. On the other hand, how the training is being impacted. For example, when we talk about the habits in the Arabic world, for example, that we are doing today, and what we consider or deem acceptable or not acceptable, we respect the Western civilization. We respect the Western civilization, but we do not apply the civilized values. But artificial intelligence that hasn't been trained, the AI who is used to the Western world, we apply. They have tunnel vision to us. There are times the tunnel vision that has to take place, but their training is done on I think AI today AI is at the worst time, because tomorrow it will be a better and better. No matter what, AI today is the weakest. Tomorrow it will be a better and better. Everybody realized that in the metaverse, for example, the algorithm. Now, when we make comments about story, the point here is AI is accelerating, and the law won't be able to catch up with technology. Therefore, today in the music world, we receive 70,000 songs a day. So we need to decide today, should we send it to Maya, send it to somebody else? So it depends on your interests. So it depends on what I know about you. If I give you songs that align with your interest, on the other hand, on the news, you realize some platforms give me feed or news in line with my interest or in line with my comments. So this AI will not deprive us from other things. At the outset, LA said the algorithm reflects. As a platform, we reflect the social fabric we live in. Anything is taking place within a local area is reflected in the social media. So it won't be different. The bubble, the bubble that you live in, the algorithm chooses your friends, chooses from your friends, your language. Sometimes, now we started experimenting with AI, we would look at two different points of views. For example, COVID, for instance, we had two different point views. We compel algorithm to share both the different points, or we prevent point of views that can be harmful to the society, even if the society relies on that. Sometimes at the time when Trump said that you could drink Clorox, when Trump said that you can't drink Clorox, jokingly, we prevented that content because it could impact the society negatively. About ChatGPT, just to simplify ChatGPT, today ChatGPT, what it does, it predicts the next word. It reads the sentence and predicts the second word, the words. That ChatGPT, it predicts the next word. Most of people, when they use ChatGPT, they do search about the mind side of the mind side, the way of the ChatGPT creates a content that reflects what you explain. If somebody has search qualified to ChatGPT, minimum it has to be 500 character, a paragraph. So you need to explain on ChatGPT that I'm a man at this age, I have this background, this is my education. For ChatGPT to put forward the context to answer you according to your language. Most of people do not interact with ChatGPT. People who will lose their jobs are people who cannot use AI. Now, how can you draft a sentence? It reflects an experience. Now, if, for example, today, if I write a book, ChatGPT can write a romantic book. Then I go. So when I ask the ChatGPT to write another romantic book, it will write a different book. So you take the command notes with the outcome. This is the intellectual property. This is the question and the answer. The answer is not intellectual property. The question itself is not intellectual property. Because every time ChatGPT will answer you differently. Therefore, drafting a question is very crucial and a special domain. The more we evolve, when you see technology is improving, about the founder of Facebook has a meeting on augmented reality using the avatar, and you cannot distinguish whether this is the real person or the avatar. This technology is there. It will take $50,000 to have that avatar to be public, to become $200 and $300. But technology is there. The experience and how can you minimize it, how you reduce the cost, so the challenges are different. I'm not asking people to develop the equipment or devices. Now the opportunities comes from the fact where you can have an app. From Angami, can have an immersive experience. I'd like to make a comment here. For an example, 2 days ago, I was preparing a proposal. You know, when you work with some people in the Arabic world, you need to bring up a book that is, or a letter or a proposal. I cannot deny that I used OpenAI, ChatGPT. I didn't take that proposal as it is. In the research, we ask design plagiarism. You take plagiarism, you take the design as it is, and you edit it to read drafting and be eloquent. So I didn't ask ChatGPT to come up to create a proposal for me. I know that the leader of this institution is not social, so I give more information to AI. The For me to ask for a proposal from AI, I have to feed it with the appropriate information. There, so you will not lose your job. The other point, when the Knowledge Summit talked to me about this session, we tried to contact with the news agencies, and we tried to have people from news agencies with a chief editor or technologist, and there was a rejection. You are very bold. You accepted to talk about AI and the possibility that it can influence the news channels. In your point of view, what is the message that we can convey? What is the message that you can convey to the news presenters? The news channels, to what extent they are going to change thanks to the AI, and to what extent it could help us to create content. Now the world goes to the the people go to the different platforms to get information. How badly we need AI to use to help us with the news. There are some strange news. I think we cannot distance ourselves from AI. AI is there to help us with our life. 15 years ago, whenever wants to apply for a job, would add to the CV that I know Excel world and Word. Is because Excel and if you don't know Excel or Word, that's something that Excel, you can use Excel. Excel is very simple, but people used to put that on their CV 15 years back. Although Excel is a very advanced program. AI is coming to help us, is not coming to take our jobs. And I believe if there is a company that has a website, they put some to summarize or e-jazz. In 10 minutes, it will tell you what happened today. Some people want to have the news summarized verbally in 10 minutes. So we have a platform that gives you the news summarized in 10 minutes. They accepted the idea, people, the consumer, the point I'm trying to make, why news channels don't want to use AI? Why can't the news channels utilize AI to summarize the news and to give you the news in a nutshell? So AI is for us to help us. The AI is not there to take off your job. 5 years ago, we didn't know that we can do those tasks. In the news channels, I did something I don't have time to read all news. I need to read the news, but I don't have time. So I'm interested in one topic, and there are topics I'm not interested in. I cannot cover everything. So I came up with an AI I wrote. I made it by wrong. I use AI where you
the program or software I made would read all my websites and then would rank them according to what is important to me, because I fed into the program what is important to me, and then they would summarize everything under 2 minutes. It would read them in English and Arabic because I wanted to try both languages, and then it would send it to me. So every day when I wake up, I have a push notification about my podcasts. And at night, what happened today? So within 4 minutes, I am able to keep up with what has been broadcasted because I don't have enough time. So what happens today with AI is that instead of going into Google and doing so many steps, it made my life so much easier. And of course, if you're going to use it in the newsroom, of course, this is going to be used. There is, of course, a certain fear that, yes, human beings have very high ambition. Once you waste your time, that, of course, would have a cost. But instead of spending 40 minutes, I have only 4 minutes to catch up. Some people, instead of just, since people have ambition, they would fill up the other 36 minutes that I have saved from Google. I'm going to read another important article or a book or spend quality time with my family. So in every direction, I've actually gained something. AI helped me to learn something and benefit. Therefore, it is a profit for us, for humanity. We can actually do more. It is not a barrier that this is going to be the end of the world, that AI is taking everything from us. No, human beings are super creative. They're going to come up with further new ideas. This has been the case and always will be. Faris, my answer is a little bit more controversial. Newsrooms haven't really changed, but the world has changed. The last front for the TV is basically sports and news. There's no any other reason why anyone would watch TV. Probably the content could be watched on DoD or Shahid, Stars, Anghami, Showtime, whatever it is the platform. But as an individual, I have an individual to set the program and decide on the time, and I would wait for the program or the show to start. That world is over. The news front is actually, in my opinion, also is over. There is content and there is the way of presenting such news. When we had the wave of fake news, I remember that we have faced way less challenges in the region other than Europe, because the Arab viewer would know that each channel has their own political direction or alliance. Therefore, people, while watching the TV and while reading the news on social media platform, they know how to differentiate. So how can we make the best of AI in discovering fake news or fake content and work against it? Because this is a huge problem and we need to give it more time. Part of this challenge is on us, since we should always fight against fake news. There are certain technologies by which we can authenticate. For example, we have even a much more difficult to detect, like deepfake. You have an avatar to fake or imitate the individuals. But for example, there is same thing with how people can detect fake news on channels. People can have a responsibility or will have a responsibility in the newsroom to be the only authentic source for news. For example, today we have journalists in Palestine. When the crisis started, they had 50,000 followers. By now they have 3 million followers or 15 million followers. Why? Because they are authentic sources of information. If the newsrooms are not going to interact with the social media platforms as the main source of communication with the viewers, it's not as a secondary source, it's the main source of communication. If they don't communicate or interact, they will lose their audience. Because people on the ground, they don't really need someone to edit or draft or do whatever. They are their own producers. That is, of course, something we witness from the shift in the world's opinion about the conflict. By that, we can, how can we fight fake news and deepfake? I want to narrate a simple story about the branding. The brands are extremely important, for example, whether for newsrooms or content creators. What does people want? Today there is a general direction to use AI more. Does that mean that we just need more data and information, or later on is going to be just a trend? People are going to still need the human contact, to the human element. So instead of just going towards the logo or the institutional element of things, let's look at it from a different perspective, which is the viewer or the consumer needs to feel the other more. We can actually learn that from a content creator and move it towards the newsroom so that they are sustainable. To make the experiences more humanitarian or more containing of the human element. Yes, of course, this is the thing that we are always talking about in newsroom, which is authenticity. I think we have 10 minutes. If you have questions from our guests, please raise your hands if you have any questions.
خير يعطيكم ألف عافية.
Good evening. My name is Osama Khumaisi. I am your colleague in the newsroom. I was actually very interested with what you said on the mechanism of dealing with AI in the newsroom. You've been saying that in a certain stage we're going to need the human intervention to control the image, to control the fact that we can make the judgment whether this would be broadcasted or otherwise in newsrooms. We always focus on authenticity, speed, and accuracy. The most prominent feature of daily news is the update. Every day we have an update. Every hour we have an update. Therefore, we need to be very keen in the newsroom on with a very, very specific point. In newsroom, we don't just have an image or a situation. What is not said in the news is way more than what is being said. So how can we deal with that in the AI if what is not said is way more than what is said? So how can we do? We're speaking about political position. We're speaking about AIDS. So how can AI delve into the political situation, the stance of various countries, the strategic plans? So how can we do that? How can we make the AI delve deeper? Mr. Eli, please. Thank you very much. I cannot really imagine that the artificial intelligence today is ready for everything. What you are talking about is very much bound to our traditions in the newsroom. I cannot really believe that newsrooms report everything happening in the world or in the country. By the end of the day, you pick and choose what you are going to present, and you also pick and choose whether you're going to present your point of view or otherwise. Therefore, I believe that AI is not really up to that level, because we need, if that is the case, that you'll have an AI trained on your very own newsroom, to know your own politics, to know your own input. Therefore, it's very hard to have AI to cover everybody's opinion and every country's and every newsroom's opinion. For you, you need to have your own AI program. You have to train them on, or to train the program on your content. You train your AI specifically for your newsroom. Then the final result will be you'll have an intern producing information, which is your AI program. For example, when our colleague said that when she was writing content, she wrote certain information or sentences on ChatGPT and it gave her content. She didn't just take it copy-paste. She had to review it and edit it. And we cannot just can rely on it 100%. But if we have an intern, you need to validate their output or monitor their work. So that's what you're going to do. You need to train them, and you feed your corrections and feedback to the AI and tell them, for example, this needs correction, or this, I want it to be this way or that way. Therefore, whenever we have something that is flagged that probably suspecting its authenticity, we send it back to a human being to authenticate it. Therefore, you need to make sure of the output of the information first, and then consider the AI an intern to help us, and then I decide whether to present their content or otherwise. This is my input now, but for us today, you cannot really just take whatever is the outcome of the AI and present it directly. You have to authenticate it and edit it and review it first. One more question, please. Good evening, everyone. Jihad Khalifa from Bahrain Kingdom. 2 questions. The first one, from the givings that we have and the fast development, can we reach a phase where the AI would feed AI with information, move from the human factor to purely AI, feeding AI? Another question, since we're here on the happiness country, would the happiness concept be affected by artificial intelligence?
على فكرة اليوم الذكاء الاصطناعي.
Actually, today, this is happening. AI is already feeding AI, and this is extremely important for the development of AI. Therefore, certain companies actually develop the foundation of AI through, specifically if they want to feed it with a huge number of information so that it is accommodating and actually getting used to the way of workflow, your direction, and so on and so forth. So that is already happening. But the other question that everyone is thinking about here, this is for Elon Musk, this is the main question. Will we reach a point where the artificial intelligence would decide that I don't need humanity, or I don't need to be under the control of humanity any longer, and work in a separate way? That is, of course, is dependent on how we program it. If we program AI that they can protect itself and it can develop itself, the artificial intelligence may actually take decisions against our will. But I believe this is more of a Hollywood scenario. Probably now we may think that, as our colleague here speaks about newsrooms. In most of the newsrooms, whether in the Middle East or otherwise, you have a certain direction you're working towards, and you would actually feed that into AI, and you would tell them or feed into them that this is your direction. But sometimes we need to change our direction. This is not fed into AI, and here comes the risk. But I think this is a bit early stage for AI. Please, we have less than 2 minutes, so please, we'll give you the concluding remarks. First of all, thank you. Number 2, it was really a coincidence that I wore a ring. I'm wearing a ring written on it, happiness. The things that we do day to day in our private life, starting from our jewelry and everything else. doesn't really mean that we didn't use AI even to make these things. These things could be handmade, made with love, and also some of them are made through artificial intelligence. I don't think that they are mutually exclusive or something would annihilate the other one, or maybe that I'm continuous just because I'm using AI in my content, in my industry, in or any other way, or I should just focus only on the human element and step away from technology. Therefore, I believe that policy making needs more governance and legal framework so that we are able to manage our own matters on an institutional, individual, and social level, so that we are all working towards a path that does not really have certain hinders or obstacles in front of us, so that the things that we are actually hoping it will serve us becomes a disservice. And that is basically because we misuse it or abuse it. And when for example, what we always say for artificial intelligence, garbage in, garbage out. If I have wrong information, they are already gathering, or AI is already gathering it. So these algorithms doesn't really know if it's right or wrong. Therefore, in order for us to serve humanity, we need to keep listening to human beings in order to provide them with happiness. Thank you very much for of course, as we have said, accuracy, authenticity, and hope. We will always continue to use AI in newsrooms and also developing content. Thank you, Jana Brastana, in TikTok and content creator, also the CEO of Meta in MENA region, as well as the technological partner in Anghami. Thank you very much, Ms. Jana, Mr. Eli, and Mr. Faris. Thank you very much. Apologies for not taking more questions due to the lack of time. Thank you very much for your attention.